Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vinsha Goma. I'm here to take you through the evaluation design presentation by PEGI 9 group. This group consists of Vinsha from SA, that is me, Edith from Austria, Juliana from Italy, and Innocent from Uganda. We are presenting under the category a forward-focused approach that focuses on the development of an impact or a quasi-experimental evaluation design. Let me take you through. PEGI 9 is a forward-looking evaluation consultancy firm that focuses on providing products and solutions to the emerging challenges in the 21st century. We pride ourselves in the fact that we are a global brand that connects peripheral data points, people, and ideas. And we have been doing this for the past 20 years, mostly on the European, Asian, and African continent. This firm is rich with extensive skills in the fields of livelihood, health, child growth and development, and education.
This is just an overview of Play Africa, which is an NGO in South Africa or a non-profit company that caters for children from the ages of 0 to 10 years. The main purpose of this evaluation design is to firstly provide a forward-looking approach that focuses on the development of an impact evaluation of selected Play Africa program in SA. Secondly, to assess the effectiveness of selected programs by Play Africa on child development. And lastly, to respond to the evaluation questions formulated on the basis of the Play Africa objectives.
These are the selected programs or interventions that are to be evaluated at Play Africa. There are about 7 of these programs that Play Africa is implementing. These programs or interventions were made with the following objectives in mind.
The following are the objectives of the interventions that we mentioned on the previous slide. The first one is to prepare children to strive in the fourth industrial revolution, to create a new generation of informed and engaged South African citizens who feel empowered to make positive difference, social inclusion of refugees, asylum seekers, other immigrants, communities, and children with special needs, to foster stronger and healthier families to support children, promote healthy attachment and bonding, to create inclusive, vibrant communities that prioritize the needs of children and inspire educators with new ideas and resources to play-based learning. The evaluation design formulated the following evaluation questions. And the questions are four. The first one is to what extent and how does the program contribute to an increase in self-directedness, creativity, and empathy of children? 2, to what extent and how does the program contribute to educators' skills to promote innovative ways of learning and play? 3, to what extent and how does the program contribute to emotional support of caregivers to their children? And lastly, is there an increase in success in relation to self-directness, creativity, and empathy, depending on the number of programs beneficiaries have participated in? If so, in what way and why? This evaluation design employs multiple approaches in an integrated way in order to fully respond to our evaluation questions. The first approach is participatory or collaborative approach. This approach will be employed because in Play Africa, there are different stakeholders who support the development of the children, and these stakeholders include educators, caregivers, and facilitators who will be actively involved in order to understand the evaluation complexity. Empowerment approach is the second approach that will be employed in our design. The approach in terms of Play Africa, it will be defined as the use of evaluation concepts, techniques, and findings to foster improvement and self-determination for Play Africa programs and child development. Another approach that will be employed in this evaluation design is the positive thinking approach, which is based on social theories that emphasize people's active involvement. It also allows to analyze the most successful cases and identify the path that led to such successes. And with Play Africa, special attention will be given to successful cases in order to understand why they are successful.
The last approach that will be utilized is the realistic approach. This approach in a nutshell explains how an outcome, in other words, the result of an intervention, is generated through a quantings mechanism exit, which is also known as the CMO configuration. In relation to Play Africa, the identification of the mechanism is done through the positive cases reported in previous years by educators, caregivers, and staff who facilitated the children's workshops. This design will use mixed methods, that is qualitative and quantitative methods. The two methods will be integrated so we overcome the limitation of each type of the method and combine their strength. By using the two methods, we are able to obtain a deeper and more multifaceted understanding of the studied phenomenon. Here are reasons why we're using quantitative method. This method is used to explain and measure the outcome generated by the project. The periodic surveys will allow to evaluate the outcome generated by the interventions for the different stakeholders involved, that are the teachers and the caregivers. And this method will also help us to respond to all the evaluation questions regarding the to what extent is clearly presented above. And the logic behind using qualitative method for this design is that this method is used to understand more deeply the generated outcomes, in particular to analyzing the processes activated with respect to the educational community. This method, which is qualitative, helps us to understand mechanisms and the characteristics of positive cases. This method will also help us to respond to the evaluation questions in relation to how is presented above.
Just to elaborate further on the two methods to be employed in this design, in relation to quantitative method, the design will use longitudinal study to monitor the progress of each child during the time of the program, and then conduct the family 3 months after each intervention, another 3 months thereafter. This design is based on multiple surveys through an observation form, which will be filled by the educators, caregivers, and facilitators. It is worth noting that PEGI 9 will ensure obtaining of consent from the caregivers regarding observation of children, and PEGI 9 will also follow national and international laws regarding children's right to privacy and data protection. The integration of these three perspectives from the educators, caregivers, and facilitators allows us as evaluators to attribute the children's progress to the program. It is discussed the hypothesis that the observed improvement are conditions by the observer, thus allowing a quality control of the data through the triangulation of three perspective or glances. The timeline that is shown on the slide is the number of times observation will be conducted. O1 refers to the first observation that will take place at the beginning of the program. O2 refers to the second observation, which will take place 3 months after the first intervention. O3 refers to the third observation, which will take place 6 months thereafter. And O4 refers to the end of the observation. All of this will be taken into assumptions that are projected on the slide. With qualitative method, the evaluation design will make use of open interviews in order to expand our understanding and find out mechanisms. The main reason for using open interviews is to hear from the respondents what they think worked well and to hear it in their own words. The respondent in this case will be the caregivers, the educators, and the facilitators, and the selection will be done through snowballing sampling. The qualitative and the quantitative method will run in parallel.
The tools that will be used to undertake this evaluation design are as follows: semi-structured observations, which will be administered in multiple time or development phases; the open interviews with facilitators, educators, and the caregivers; self-estimation questionnaires to create a counterfactual for the educators; and also facilitators, caregivers, and educators will be interviewed by data collectors who are trained and also using different native languages available. The table just projects the data collection methods in relation to the evaluation questions as to which tool will be answering which questions. Once the data is collected, the data will be analyzed using the descriptive and correlational approaches to data analysis. The evaluation budget has been projected over a period of 18 months. The amount that has been estimated is 260,000 rands. The activities that will be undertaken is literature review, develop research design, data collection, which also include training of data collectors, analyzing and reporting, and also travel. Thank you so much. Gracia, Webale, Danksir, Riadeboga. Thank you for the opportunity.